I'm joined now by the fourth-ranking Democrat in the House, Congressman Joe Crowley, in the middle of the storm. Congressman, I'm out here in San Francisco with Gene Robinson, who's got a question for you as well. We're trying to keep track of what you guys are up to. I know you're going to tell me the House took a step. But quite frankly, does it confuse you, nicest way to put it, that we're barreling towards this deadline and all day the Senate hasn't done a thing?
Well, it certainly is disconcerting, to say the least, I think, for all of us as we seem to be moving towards and closer to a shutdown. The reality is, though, I've never seen such a rush to the creation of websites or hashtags as I have over the past couple of days to cast aspersions and blame as to who has failed here in terms of government. And clearly, Republicans control the presidency. They control overwhelmingly the House of Representatives and the Senate. It's really their job to govern right now. The American people have given them this opportunity, and yet they failed to do so. They've continually failed to do it. This is not the first, but the fourth time we'll be voting on a continuing resolution. This is not the way in which we should be governing. This is not the way we can ensure our military has all its resources, that we can do everything here to protect Americans both abroad and here at home, as well as take care of the needs of the American people. And that's what Democrats have been calling for these past half a year.
Congressman, the frustrating thing, I think, for a lot of Americans is that there's a majority in probably both houses to help the dreamers. There's a majority in both houses for children's health. There's not this sort of crazy disagreement. At least you could get legislation through in both houses, yet it doesn't happen. Why is that, and how could Congress justify to the American people not doing something that most of Congress agrees and wants to do?
You're right. I mean, there is clearly support within the Democratic caucus and about 25 to 35 members of the Republican caucus to bring a Clean Dream Act to the floor right now. The problem is, as you well know, the Republican majority leadership will not allow that bill to come to the floor, placating the far right wing of the Republican Party, the Tea Party, or the Freedom Caucus themselves. That's why, yes, there is broad support for a CHIP. There is broad support, I believe, for community health centers. I think there's even broad support to help our veterans. The problem, once again, is that the Freedom Caucus throws down the gauntlet and says they will not support those additions to a more expansive budget.
If this does go to the blame game, here is your leader, Nancy Pelosi, on the strategy the Democrats are pushing. Take a listen.
What our country needs is a good shutdown. As president, he said that. No, there's no such thing as a good shutdown. That's an oxymoron. Democrats have never been for it.
Is there a part of Nancy Pelosi's thinking here that this is, while something the Democrats say they don't want to happen, politically a proof point for what you have long argued, that Donald Trump doesn't really care about government?
Well, I do believe that is the case. I don't think this president really cares nor does he understand how government operates. He really does not have a grasp of negotiating when it comes to budgets or to other legislative deals. He doesn't have a grasp of the issues. But I do take Nancy Pelosi sincerely. I think Democrats as a whole, we don't believe in shutdown government. We believe in government. We believe there's a role for government for the American people to keep us safe and to ensure that those programs are intact that help people get a hand up. That's what Democrats have always been about. We're not for shutting down government. We never have. We never will be. Whenever there has been a shutdown, it's been brought about by Republicans. And here, for the first time, they control everything. And yet we still are moving towards a shutdown under their watch.
Congressman Crowley, in the middle of the fight there on the Hill, thank you.